Who do you see on the horizon for 2028 in the Democratic primary?
Right now?
Yeah.
Bernie and AOC.
No.
They got the biggest crowds.
That doesn't matter.
It won't sustain itself, but right now they have no leader. Okay? But this is the thing the Republican Party has to understand, too. Both parties lost in the last election. Trump won, okay? And I don't know if that's going to transfer. We should have won 4 more seats in the Senate. If you look at the last 70 races for the Senate, 69 followed exactly.
I think it's Moore versus Youngkin. That's where I see it.
Youngkin would be.
Youngkin is Baggett adjacent, and then Vance and Jr. will fight it out from that crowd.
AOC and Bernie, and who's at the top of the ticket?
They're going to lead right now.
Who's at the top of that ticket, Kevin? Because if it's not Bernie, he's going to be vice president and wait his turn.
No, it would be. Bernie's been running each time. I'm just saying who's in the lead right now. I don't think that's how it ends up.
But big crowds don't necessarily mean who's the right candidate. You know, when I started...
No, but it drives where the ideas are going to go. It's going to drive the money for a while.
It doesn't make it in the winner.
It doesn't make it in the winner. You'll have to wait till you get 2 years out. And then you'll start seeing these governors that start showing solutions. You also have to know, what is the issue going to be? Are we going to have a foreign policy issue? Are we going to have an economic issue? And who's been the best in leading in that? But right now for the Democrats, who's going to lead for the next 2 years, the money is going to... AOC outraised everybody in the House.
And it's all small donors.
It's all small donors.
Yeah.
And this is exactly where Trump was. When no one gave him the chance at 17, he outraised everybody else. So that's where the base is at, right? And so what will happen, it'll move after the next midterm.
Bill Maher got visibly frustrated with his guest after they suggested AOC should run in the next election. You could see he'd had enough of what he called constant woke rhetoric. It wasn't just a disagreement. He openly and forcefully criticized the woke agenda. In a rare moment of raw honesty, Maher said what many Democrats usually avoid saying on air. It was intense, candid, and struck a nerve with a lot of viewers. This is definitely something worth watching.
Before they can take on Donald Trump, Democrats have to decide which wing of their own party is best to lead them out of the wilderness. And when I say that, I'm sure you can all guess what recent incident in the news I'm thinking about. The season 8 finale of Love is Blind. Now, if you didn't see it, well, first of all, fuck you. It's absolutely the best dating show with love and blind in the title. But here's what happened. The bride, an impressive, attractive nurse named Sarah Carton, walked out on her dream wedding to sales consultant Ben Mazenga. They were at the altar, all dressed up, almost to the part where they eat cake and do the electric slide. When Sarah broke the news to her man that she just couldn't go through with it. Had he cheated on her? Abused her? Was he a folk singing Irish vampire? No, it was because of Black Lives Matter. Because if there's one thing we know about the young liberal women of today, it's that they are very, very high in their standards about everything. And Ben, while no racist, had not done the work on this issue.
When I asked him about it, he was like, I guess I've never really thought too much about it.
And that's when Sarah realized she'd rather die alone.
If you missed what Bill Maher was really saying, you might be missing the bigger issue. That's exactly why the woke crowd is now turning on him, some even labeling him a Trump supporter, just for speaking hard truths. But Maher isn't taking sides. He's one of the few voices willing to say, you're going in the wrong direction. Instead of course-correcting or rallying behind a genuine leader, the Democrats seem ready to go down with the ship.
Because love isn't blind, it's woke. Well, now, to be fair to Sarah, it wasn't just Black Lives Matter. Ben also didn't have much to say about the vaccine. And his position on trans was basically, I don't know, I guess. Sarah's sister is gay. And when she told that to Ben, Ben said he had, quote, no discomfort around that community at all. Not good enough, Ben! I think what you meant to say is, fuck yeah, I fucking love it.
This is exactly the kind of audience the woke movement thrives on. People who follow without question, stay silent out of fear, and never push back. But the truth is, people are fed up. They're tired of the constant woke rhetoric, the double standards, and being told what they're allowed to think. The performance is getting old, and more people are waking up to it every day.
If the standards on the left are going to be this high and politics is going to be this much of a cock block, we're never going to win elections or have any more babies. This inclination from certain liberals to always and immediately excommunicate instead of communicate is what makes them so unlikable. And I'm sorry, Sarah, to make you the poster child for this, but come on. I mean, look at this stiff. What'd you expect? Okay, you're a much better person than he is. You win. And by win, I mean lose. Christ, first we couldn't date people who had opposite political beliefs. Now we can't even date them if they have no opinion at all. It's enough to make you lose faith in finding true love on a reality streaming series.
Bill Maher is one of the rare voices who knows exactly how to call out the madness. He does it clearly, directly, and without sugarcoating, but the woke crowd still refuses to hear it. They remain blind, trapped in an echo chamber where logic and accountability are ignored. That's why Maher's voice matters. He's not afraid to speak uncomfortable truths, even if it ruffles feathers. He stands firm, no matter the backlash.
And hasn't turned his life over to being a social justice warrior yet because he's preoccupied with trying to get his life going. Possibly because he's worried about having the means to support the woman he thought he was going to marry, who seems rather demanding and particular. Which is kind of how it is these days. Did you know that on Bumble, only 15% of the women are willing to date a man under 5'8"? Wow. Women, they're like roller coasters now. You must be this tall to ride them. And that's not all. The guy must also have a nice car and make over $100K a year. Okay, but you know, how many 6'2" Grand Prix drivers are there? I know you've all been told that you can have it all, and you're a queen and a lady boss and that bitch. But maybe your judgy ass is no prize either.
Here's the truth about the extreme woke crowd. They're loud. They blow every issue out of proportion, but their arguments don't hold up. Meanwhile, Bill Maher calmly and consistently picks their claims apart, exposing just how hollow their slogans really are. And that's exactly why they can't stand him.
AOC should be the candidate, do you?
No. I mean,
Okay.
No, I'm not saying, it's not my job to pick who the candidate is going to be.
Oh, it's mine.
Yeah.
And it's not, it shouldn't be her.
Maybe you should talk to the president about that.
It shouldn't be her. The fact that the people who are getting the big crowds right now are AOC and Bernie Sanders. They're going around the country. Thank you, there's that same guy. I call him the always wrong guy. No, I'm kidding. Okay, but I feel like, you know, big crowds, again, the shiny object that the Democrats chase. It's not about the big crowds that come out to you when you're talking in a festival or wherever they are. I think because I think Bernie showed up at Coachella. That must have been fun for the fans. It's who shows up on Election Day. And I just don't see that's the ticket. I mean, Cory Booker, I know you've worked with him. I like Cory a lot from my home state of New Jersey. Made a speech for 25 hours. Again, just whacking each other off. This is just not what's going to get the job done.
Exactly. And that's what they still refuse to see, and probably never will. Even when the truth about their so-called leaders is undeniable, the woke crowd keeps defending failure. Instead of reassessing, they argue louder, double down, and stand by the same people who've led them in the wrong direction. Sadly, that seems to be the only way they know how to respond.
They don't have a monopoly on stupid. You wear Queers for Palestine t-shirts and masks 2 years after the pandemic ended. And you can't define woman, person who menstruates. You're the teachers' union education party, and you've turned schools and colleges into...
Exactly. And that's the irony. Even now, they still don't get it. They keep choosing the same type of leaders with the same broken ideas, expecting different results. The wild part is, Bill Maher saw this coming years ago. He called it out long before most people, But they brushed him off, just like they dismiss any uncomfortable truth that doesn't fit their narrative.
Finally, new rule Democrats who 1 year from now will be licking their wounds and asking themselves how they could have lost the midterms so badly must instead ask themselves that question now. Now, like, while there's still time to do something about it. A couple of weeks ago, Amy Klobuchar was here, and when I suggested the Democrats need a messaging czar, she offered me the job. Well, you need a messaging czar in your party.
And do you think it should be you?
Amy, I'm flattered. But after careful consideration, I must decline. The hours it would take me away from home would make it very difficult on my family. But I will tonight once again break out my coach hat and try to point the Democrats in the right direction. That's all I can do. Point you in the right direction. I'm like Deep Throat. Because the way this party is running for office is making me gag.
They never listened, not once. Every warning was ignored, every voice of reason silenced. Now the consequences are here, unfolding in real time. The damage is happening because they refused to confront reality when it mattered most. Honestly, there's not much more to add. It all speaks for itself. But let us know what you think in the comments, and if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. More truth and real talk are on the way.